So for today's XC lunch, we have Dex Neal here, and he is going to teach us all about the history of Humana.
Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the final DEC lunch of the year. I'm honored to present here today, and I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And I think this is something we often overlook, is the history of Humana. So I'm actually going to want to get started with a quick movie icebreaker, please. So with your non-eating hand, if your name starts between A and M, first name, raise your hand if you've seen the movie Goodfellas. Okay, excellent. And if it starts between N and Z, please raise your hand if you've seen Forrest Gump. Okay. And if you're willing to admit that you prefer Christmas Story over Home Alone, and your letter starts with any letter in the alphabet, raise your hand now, please. Okay. Oh, okay. Great. All right. And very soon, a lot of Home Alone fans. Those are three of my favorite movies, and so right away you have an affinity to me. Before I move into the agenda of the history of Humana, I do want to introduce myself. I'm Dex Neal. I'm currently a senior program delivery professional from the MRA Ops. And I'm in my third role now at Humana. Recently I've worked with the Special Investigation Unit to pull the data that would basically substantiate the allegations against providers who were committing fraud or waste. And that data would then go on to exonerate them or potentially indict them. It's an exciting job. It wasn't quite as juicy as it seems. But currently, I run data for MRA Ops. My family is just myself, my wife Holly, my dog Scooch, and our cat Tootsie. And I'm an eater in my heart, I promise you. My favorite food being pizza. Music is definitely an emphasis in my life. It's kind of what got me into data analytics in the first place. Bands like the Beatles and Pink Floyd, kind of like what led me to want to review the Billboard Hot 100 in the first place. Check out data in that sense. But I'm not here to discuss data today, as I said. I'd like to actually discuss the history of Humana and be in this agenda. First, we'll go through the genesis of Humana, that is the births and upbringings of Wendell and David Jones, respectively, how they eventually crossed paths, how they decided to start a nursing home operation, and then the eventual hospital ownership among them in the 1990s. Then we'll talk about the New York Stock Exchange in 1993. That's when Humana made its first start on the NYSE. I'll also talk about, just for fun, what concurrently was happening around the world in 1993 at that exact same moment. I'm going to finalize with what's next for Humana, that being what technological innovations can we draw from, in which way do we see the future based on very recent past. So to describe the history of Humana, we need to probably go way, way back to 1931. At this point, David Jones is born that year. He was born in Louisville, Kentucky. Here's a picture of what Louisville looked like in 1931. As you see, there's a railroad now where 60 West would be. And he's from the Parkland neighborhood toward the west side. Working class parents, father a laborer, his mother was a clerk for the Census Bureau. And his favorite place to visit when he was a kid was the library. He was a reader. But don't let that fool you. He was a member of the U.S. Navy for 3 years, and probably tough as a $3 steak because of that. He developed an accounting background via a Navy scholarship, and he went to the University of Louisville to acquire that. Now, concurrent to the events of his birth were Chicago's prosecution of one, the most notorious gangster here, Al Capone, for 11 years of serving via tax evasion. The Empire State Building was erected that year in New York City. Japan, on the eve of World War II, had invaded China, and also America declared that the Star-Spangled Banner was its national anthem. In 1935, about 40 years later, was Wendell Cherry born. And he was born in a place called Horse Cave, Kentucky. He wasn't born in an actual cave, but rather a rural neighborhood. His parents worked at a local grocery, and with his law background, he actually represented a legal team that
supported Muhammad Ali, formerly Cassius Clay at the time, in his refusal to go to combat during the Vietnam War. So right away, there's this humane aspect of Wendell Cherry we notice in his representation. He's also an art collector and philanthropist. But before going down that route, I will say he was also the former president, believe it or not, of the American Basketball Association, the predecessor to the current NBA today. I know, hard to believe. He was also responsible for the development of the Kentucky Center for the Arts right over here, and has provided many a fund to the Speed Art Museum as well. Concurrent events on his life would have been the development in pop culture of the Monopoly game, as well as Looney Tunes. Politically, over in Germany, there were many a treaty principle being violated. And here in the West, FDR was in the development of the Social Security system. At that time, America was in this deep depression. The choice was either, do we want to develop some new system, be it healthcare or Social Security? And he decided that Social Security should take the precedent over healthcare, at least that year, 1935. But if we flash forward 6 years, there is the eventual installment of national health insurance, that too by FDR. Unfortunately, he met his fate a couple of years later. Very sad. He, due to complications in polio, he had passed away April 1945. The good news is Adolf had actually passed away in World War II Germany representation that exact same month. Consequently, the war was over in September 2nd, 1945. And the World War II ended. It's often represented by this iconic photo, and that's what we'll turn up here with the way we had to kind of makeshift the screen board tonight. But basically, it's an illustration of a Navy gentleman kissing a young girl in a nurse's uniform. Per report, they were total strangers, but the glee and the hysteria was so uncontrollable in American time that this is just the way that people felt during the celebration at the end of World War II. Sometime in 1959, David eventually meets Wendell Cherry after these upbringings and these, these childhoods that were concurrent to the war and post-depression. But it took a while for America to restabilize. It was around that time that these two did cross paths. They crossed paths at a law firm called the Wyatt Law Firm. Now it's gone, it's undergone several variations since then. But the two men, they met, they had a professional working relationship for about 2 years, and they decided to venture into entrepreneurship. So they developed what was their first heritage house, and that's 1961 that occurred. So, pardon me, it was a matter of time before they also had ambitions of running hospitals. So what happened was everything went public. The two men went to the bank. They both took out a $1,000 loan together. They said, hey, may I please have a loan? My partner and I do not have a lot of money yet. We're very young. We virtually don't know where this is going to take off, but we do have the initiative to start a nursing home operation. It did take off, and extended care came into fruition in 1968 as such. Later, then, in 1974, the name Humana was coined. In 1984, Paramount year, Humana introduced its first national health care insurance. It was off to a rocky start, but after some variations and some negotiation of contract language, basically the consumers were happy, physicians were irate. It took a while to get all parties in affiliation happy. But they eventually did. In 1985, they opened the Humana Tower right here, right across the street, where I currently work. And it's a beauty. In 1993, Humana made its appearance on the New York Stock Exchange for the first time. And why? Probably because they were the largest hospital operator in the country at that time. I want to discuss a few major American events as well as some non-major American events for fun that occurred concurrent to this. I showed my wife this presentation. She hated this part. It's, and pleaded that I not show it, but I thought it's for fun. I just want to show around the world and around politically and in entertainment what had occurred that year. Clinton had just defeated Bush and had gone on the Arsenio Hall show as a way to optimize his campaign. He played saxophone when he was a young boy, so he premiered that on Arsenio Hall. The story of 1993 can't be told with some of the entertainment aspects. Coincidentally, when we came into stock, the movie Aladdin came out, and A Whole New World was the hit of the radio airwaves. Whitney Houston, meanwhile, was dominating charts with the Bodyguard soundtrack. The movie of the week was Falling Down that week. We went into stock. Jurassic Park to date was the highest-selling blockbuster. MTV eventually developed this cult animated phenomenon, Beavis and Butthead. Michael Jordan en route to his third NBA championship. The Buffalo Bills lose their third in a row. O.J. Simpson, the only stigma there is that he's just a bad Monday Night Football commentator. And then Tom Brady, age 16, still playing football in California. Tiger Woods, age 17, still trying to make the Masters cut. In the way of business, IBM had reported an $8 billion loss that year. They would eventually recover. In fact, they are the developers of these Lenovo ThinkPads that we use daily. They're responsible for those. You love them or you hate them. Speaking of love or hate, this is the point where Donald Trump became engaged to Marla Baker, an actress. And in the way the Fortune 500, you'll notice a lot of these are not on today's. If I were to put on this makeshift billboard all the ones from today, the only one that would cross over would be ExxonMobil. Walmart would be number one. I think Chinese energy would be within the mix. But largely everything was different. Is Apple on there? I don't think Apple's on there yet. Certainly today you see Google Apple. Steve Jobs actually got in between jobs in the way of business. He is developing what's called Next, a startup company that's going to focus, it's basically going to ditch hardware and move more into software. At the time, think of it, in 1993, that's actually pretty gutsy, and it was risky. People weren't totally certain it was going to work. But he had other ventures as well. Believe it or not, Steve Jobs funded and basically co-founded Pixar as we know it today. Can you believe that? I looked it up. And they made out $192 million their weekend with Toy Story. Now, aired not film, many sequels were made. This is either true, I read it on Wikipedia and I'm being trolled, but it's right there. It says that he was the co-founder of Pixar. Meanwhile, in the way of business and in technology, we have Intel on this, producing these microprocessing premium chips that are used internationally. And if you want to go on the internet, well, you're going to have a drink of water. You had to go through a screen like this. Is anyone familiar with CAS screens? CAS and within clays. If I'm not mistaken, that looks a lot like it. At this point, you had to go through a blue screen that was similar. Things took definitely long to download, and we were still ways off from the development of Yahoo, Google, and so forth. We did, however, have the third iteration of Windows, which the showstopper there being the accessories folder. You had your clock and your solitaire, big time waster. Solitaire was it not? I put in many hours of life into this game. Minesweeper. Minesweeper also very good. But I digress. What we know is that in 1993, Humana, in concurrent events to all of these things happening in America and around the world, was the largest hospital operator. And it had actually become quite an attractive purse to any potential buyer. Was there a potential buyer, you ask? Yes, there was. They rebranded 77 of those hospitals. They owned 77, they rebranded 76 of them. Galen was the new name of these, and they sold them to Nashville's Columbia Healthcare for $3 billion. That's a lot of money then, it's a lot of money now. But what you'll kind of notice here is there's peculiarity in the start of Humana stock. They don't really get off the ground for a while. And there are similar trends expressed by the leading competitors Cigna and United around that time as well. In 1997, David Jones steps away, and he's preceded by a gentleman named Greg Wolf. Simultaneously, the Balanced Budget Act occurred, and it basically allowed for payment methods to extend to nursing homes and physical therapy as well. In addition, the government placed extra emphasis on anti-fraud among Medicare. That is, the scoundrels who once offered the questionable services were vastly vanished in the U.S., and as a result, the brand equity of Medicare strengthened, it remained affordable, and the brand awareness grew like fire. It was then, though, that the United Healthcare Corps made a strong effort to purchase Humana for about $5 billion. However, United stock had plummeted during this negotiation, and so we, in consternation, eventually pulled out. In 2000, we inducted CEO Michael McAllister, and he, to quote Cardi B, made money moves. The first thing he did was that he developed the Availity, a payer connection portal, I'm reading, that helped the securement of payment parties involved in a claim. He then developed a business with Virgin Group, which was kind of the one who led the groundwork for Go365, incentive-based employee participation. He then advanced RightSource RX, which influenced the Humana pharmacy, and here was the real money shot. In 2006, Humana began an educational campaign in the mass marketing of Medicare Advantage to qualifying members, those being 65 and up. As the saying goes, however, the stock follows the invisible hand of the market. And it's here that we can see that the market was spending more in 2006 through 2010. It's debatable what caused this. I think it could be that the baby boomer generation is entering that state of being eligible for Medicare. I think it could be a number of things, but whatever the reason, I mean, it could be that President Bush, he had inducted his Modernization Act, it's called. It could also be Obama and the Affordable Care Act. Whatever the reason, there was confluence of events, and it blew like gold. I mean, we capitalized on the participating per capita payments in healthcare. As that all went up, so too did our stock. Soared like an eagle. Now, the last 10 years have been the most exciting, in my opinion, but they haven't been without their turbulence. Bruce Broussard was inducted and has done a great job in efforts supplanting Michael McAllister. They went on somewhat of a December shopping spree in 2010, as you'll see. Bruce enters the picture, and Concentra is bought for $800 million. After 5 years, they grow that, and they sell it as if flipping a house for $1 billion. They pocket that 200 capital. Concentra, by the way, a health organization prided on the American working class. Shortly thereafter, as you probably well know, there was an attempt for Aetna to come in and buy us. And then a merger would occur, and everything became kind of blurry after that as to what was going to occur job-wise, hierarchically. But some things happened. Some things were blocked. And as a precedent to this, Hillary Clinton, love her or not, said, as we see more consolidation in healthcare among both providers and insurers, I'm worried that the balance of power is moving away from consumers. And it is apparent that the U.S. Department of Justice agreed with this. 4 federal judges blocked it, and the deal went kaput in 2017. However, we did make strong efforts succeeding that by purchasing Kindred Healthcare, 40% of it. And I was actually on an airplane, by the way, months before this. I was coming back from Beijing, China. And I was sitting next to my cabin mate was an investor. And he said, I have this feeling that Humana is interested in purchasing Kindred or stocks of it. Things seem to be going that way. And you know what I said? I said, there's no way. I said at the time, months before 2018, the purchase. I said, there's no way, I don't think there's anything, they already have in that health section, by the way. They have no use for Kindred. The two don't overlap in their missions. The values are all different. And I just want to say now, admitting I was wrong, I was dead ass wrong, because they purchased up Kindred at home, and then 10 days later, Curo Health Services, in a major attempt at at-home health. So there were some rumors that were circulating in the whispers of a Walmart buyout, but it was a vicious rumor. I don't know if you recall this, late 2018, that because of the CVS and Aetna or Cigna, who was the one? CBS is it Aetna at this point? Okay, yes. Because of that, there were maybe whispers that Humana and Walmart would develop a relationship. Well, I Googled it this morning, and there's nothing relevant on that for about a year now. I don't think it's in the works, but Humana did introduce Fitbit Care well after that rumor. And this is basically a biometric tracker that's going to take your vital signs, and it's going to tell you when you're at risk and remind you of appointments and give you rewards via your steps. And the stock of the Fitbit Care went up about 5% after that acquisition. Then on Monday, I don't know if everyone knows this, Humana announced that they are buying Clara. This is basically, how was it defined in the email? It's to provide benefit management of the hospice pharmacy, basically. And it's going to ensure the optimal medicine will now reach the hands of the terminally ill, as they live out the rest of their lives being the best version of themselves. I mean, it's with good cause that this occurred, and I'm happy to see that purchase occur. I was surprised, as we're all surprised anytime there's a movement within Humana like that. And that leads us here, and that is, what is next for Humana? You have to have wondered that question at some point. That doesn't mean that anything will majorly change, but what augmentations will occur in the next 4 years? What can we improve? Where are there still benchmarks that can be modified? And no matter what the bright and shiny new technology is available in this world, the one thing that still stands is the vision statement has remained the same. I looked it up on Humana's website just yesterday. Everyone is entitled to a good life. This was the vision whenever Wendell and David inaugurated the Heritage House and kickstarted the nursing home industry. And then we got into hospital ownership, just as this was the vision that Bruce had in mind when I believe he pledged that it would buy Clara on Monday. What we do know is there will be changes under 4 major branches, one being clinical. And whereas we used to have the heart attack first to call 911, the myocardial infarction, now we have triggers on these Fitbits that we're seeing so often now that will kind of alert us that our biometrics are off, that our blood pressure is too high, that our salt intake is this or that, or cholesterol. And that's kind of moving into what's called an always-on model, where in 4 years we'll always have this on. In a way, you're giving up a little bit of privacy, is the downfall. You are giving your data to a system that then stores it and interprets it beyond your control. Unless you turn it off, which you don't want to do because then you'll be at risk. So there's also an associate count induction, we think, or at least from what I've heard from the HCS. In 5 years, the integration of Kindred Home and Cura and Clara, it's going to cause, currently there are only about 16,000 who work in the healthcare services. This will increase to about 60,000 via these acquisitions. Another is the technology aspect. Right now we're 100% in person when it comes to pharmaceutical call reps, and that's going to move largely into the telehealth field. Finally, the 4th thing we know is going to change is the practice what you preach method that we'll need to undertake when it comes to associate engagement. Associate engagement, we have a plan to move from 67% in 2018 to about 90% in 2022. And finally, in the spirit of Amazon, what I predict we will see in Humana's share earnings is a great reinvestment and even greater returns later on down the line. Beyond the next 5 years, I think most revenues will be indirectly reinvested in either biotech or infotech. And I'm reading a book right now by Yuval Harari. It's called 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. And these are the 2 fields he thinks are the most profitable over the next 20 and even 50 years. And I think it's pretty compelling if you read that book, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. And I believe it. I bought it. I think we'll continue to see continued pharmacy acquisitions. Just as everyone's entitled to a good life, everyone is entitled to a long life, and something that prolongs life will definitely inspire a market. Where there's a market, we should reinvest. I also think we'll invest in predictive biometrics. That is, with biometric data, we can imagine an algorithm that basically gives us an alert that we need to go to the ambulance in the next 4 minutes, the next for months, that we need to prescribe maybe 10 micrograms of nitroglycerin based on the vitamins that we're feeding into it headlessly, wirelessly. We don't know what it's collecting. But I would actually venture to say it's only a matter of time before the Fitbits we're wearing, this data threshold will be crossed, and the data, will actually get to know us better than we know ourselves, at least from an intrinsic standpoint, internally. Telehealth, we'll see a rise of AI. I don't know if call reps would be entirely relieved by artificial intelligence. I actually vote that we assign the bots the jobs with the most drudgery. So customer service or driving a car, and then we create development of jobs that will maybe shift the paradigm of what the working class is defined. That being developmental jobs, more jobs toward data, more jobs toward producing the AI, all the data components that go into this production of the artificial intelligence. Lastly, the smart home, I think, is going to be a cutting-edge innovation. We're entering at-home healthcare right now as we speak. And with smart homes, so to say, elder care would definitely stand to benefit. This means the pre-integration of all things automatable, be it your thermostat or your home security, your air conditioning media security systems, maybe a sensor that shows whenever someone beyond age 65, 75 has fallen and there's no movement in the house suddenly. Maybe if there's a screen. Smart home is basically part of an even more holistic concept called the Internet of Things, which I have fully guzzled the Kool-Aid on at this point. And I think this is the concept that in 100 years' time, all devices, machines, appliances that you manipulate in your day-to-day life will become interrelated. And basically, they'll be branded that way, they'll be put out that way, manufactured. The mobile device will be the centralized hub then, which serves as our beacon to manipulate all these different stimuli. That speaker, or that refrigerator, or that clock, the thermostat, the pacemaker in one's heart, or home security, the Tesla that self-drives, it's in your driveway. Even your own attitude can be altered by triggering a surge of dopamine that connects the neurons to your brain bus in this Internet of Things concept. So that's right, the mobile device would be the hub that interrelates all the things, and I've got to tell you, I believe it. For after all, for NNAA, there are 7 billion people on Earth currently, 5 billion own a cell phone, and only 4 billion own a toothbrush. So by definition, there are more people who own a cell phone currently, as of 2011, than who own a toothbrush. It may sound ridiculous, but the proof is in the data. In closing, it's infinitely easier to review this past of Humana than it is to predict the future. But I do think reviewing these landmarks from Humana's inauguration in 1968 to Bruce's acquisition on just Monday, 2019, we stand to make an educated guess as to which direction this path will take us in the near and the distant future. I'm afraid that's all I have for the day. I want you to enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Big thank you to the DVC personnel for letting me do it. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Thank you all so much.